You can also make money selling through retail shows. These are like your fall home shows, where it's a 10-day span. 300,000 people go through there. You won't be able to see 300,000 if you're called on a day-to-day. So don't overlook at selling your products through trade shows. Again, the main directory is the Canadian Shows and Exhibitions. Selling through manufacturer's representatives. So this means if you're an importer, what you may want to do is have a manufacturer represent your product. Selling through locators. Again, these are independent salespeople. These guys are really hard to find, but what they do is call on different businesses. It could be a variety store, it could be a grocery store, it could be a computer store, but they call on every one of these computer stores in a certain geographic area. So if you're importing these products, what you're looking for is a locator added to this product line. Just like you go to your pharmacy, the pharmacy rep, he always has new drugs coming on the market, and he just introduces it to the pharmacist. Selling through direct mail or mail order, through mail order catalog houses. Mail order, there's about 3,000 different catalogs out in the marketplace there. Again, we have a directory at the Institute, so if you remember, we'll give the name of that directory. But this is how you can get rapid distribution for your product and service. The example, like Consumers Catalog, Consumers Distributing Catalog, they put out about 12 million of these catalogs each time they print them. So if you sell your product to the buyer consumers here, you're in 12 million households, and I think they said that 3.4 people actually look at each catalog. So you can reach potentially 30 million people, okay? And that's how you get rapid distribution. Selling through department stores, again, the way to get rapid distribution. Now the directory that you need is called Directory of Retail Chains in Canada. It has anything from 2 stores to 300-400 stores. So when you sell the buyer of Bay, Hudson Bay owns Zellers, they own Simpsons, or you sell the buyer of Sears. Once you sell that one buyer, you're in 300-400 stores overnight. Okay, so again, rapid distribution. Selling through a flea market. Again, it sounds rinky-dink, but I tell you, you can make a fortune selling at flea markets. I know one guy, again, our sister company, Northern Response, we sell a lot of TV products, and we have the exclusive right on some of these TV products for retail. There's one guy who represents us at some of these flea markets. He does about $1,500 in one day on some of these flea markets. But he has other guys representing himself in other flea markets. In one weekend, he can be taking in $5,000 to $10,000. At these flea markets, about 5,000 to 10,000 people pass through those doors. Nowhere in retail you can get that kind of volume or traffic coming through your doorstep there. So don't overlook at some of these strategies that I'm talking about. Now, the directory in Ontario that you may want to get here, it's called Antigua Flea Market. Now, they changed their phone number. It's 314-0944. What you want to do is get their catalog to find out where all the flea markets are in Ontario. And again, you just want to have a distributor representing your product in these flea markets. Selling your product to the government. This one's often overlooked by entrepreneurs, but the average contract is actually less than $10,000, which is ideal for a small business. When you hear of these million-dollar contracts being awarded, it's not to one company, it's to a consortium of companies, and it's a joint venture, and everybody kicks in their 2 cents there. But the average contract is less than $10,000. Now, you can sell to the government at the municipal, provincial, and federal level. So you can sell to the city, where are we? We're in the Etobicoke. Or you can just contact the city of Etobicoke, city of Mississauga, city of Toronto, and there's no cost to get your company listed. Now, on the provincial level, it costs about $125 to get your company listed. The directory you need here is Ontario's public sector market. Who buys what in ministries, agencies, municipalities, school boards, colleges, universities, and hospitals, and other public agencies. So this directory will give you specifically the buyer responsible for the product and service that you're looking to sell. And I can tell you, the government buys everything. And I have a booklet there, and it shows you they spend millions and millions of dollars on products. And I don't know if you were following, about 2 years ago, they spent $900 on camera. So they'll even give the price that you may be looking for. You can sell to the federal government. Okay? Again, they spend even more than the provincial government. The buying arm is supplying services. It costs about $200 to list your company with the federal buying arm. But again, all you want to know is, or at least be able to make a bid on this particular service or contract. It's not necessarily price. A lot of times it's based on your track record, on the quality service that you actually offer. So price is a consideration, but first you have to have the opportunity to bid. But you have to know when it actually comes out first. So don't overlook it. Selling your product to the government. Selling your product as a premium or as incentive. Selling through vending. Again, this is a powerful way. Many of you may not know, but many products today are being sold through vending. I was in New York. There's a store there 24 hours. There's nobody operating it. It's all just vending machines. If you go down to register your company right now, you'll find when you come through the doors on the left-hand side, there's a vending machine put out by Black's Camera. You can actually get your film processed through vending right now. Soft drinks, food, everything today you can buy through vending. So if you're importing some of these small consumer products, another way to sell your product is through vending. selling through door-to-door, telemarketing, party plan, multi-level. Now, some of these you may be contacted on, but I tell you, it's a powerful way of marketing. And you may frown on it. I can tell you, these guys are making millions of dollars selling through these mediums. Again, because you can't sell in the conventional way how most of these people are selling currently. So again, it's arming yourself with all these marketing strategies. If you get one or two more of these strategies out of the manual, you would have more than paid yourself for the course itself. But the main thing is understanding that these exist first, so you can have it at your arms. Now, on mail order, I just want to cover briefly here. Again, one of the ways to get into business is mail order or through direct mail itself. But here in mail order, there's two types of mail you can get involved with, what we call one-step or two-step. Direct mail versus mail order as a business here. So in the one step, this is just your typical display ad that you normally see in the back cover of an ad itself. It could be a full page or it could be just a little classified here. And usually it just starts off with a basic headline. You should include a photograph of the product. Many times if you don't know what you're doing in mail order, you might just take a picture of the product. Like I tell you, if you show a part of the human anatomy, you can increase anywhere from 50 to 80% in terms of results or inquiry. The cell copy, again, there's some key words there that you should be aware. In the blueprints, there list 40 of the most possible words there that you can use that prove to increase the response. And the last one here is a coupon. A lot of times it's very important how you do that coupon, how you code it so you know what magazine the inquiry is coming from. But you have to make it as easy for your customer to fill out this order form. So again, it comes to a science and a system. I wouldn't try to reinvent the wheel because it's very expensive. And like I said, you take say a one-page ad in Playboy, it costs about $8,000. So it's one time, once a month. It can be very expensive if you don't know what you're doing in mail order, but you can make a lot of money also in mail order if you know what you're doing. The other one is what we call direct mail. Now, this has nothing to do with mail order, but you need to know a little about direct mail, regardless of what business you get into. If you're in manufacturing, if you're in service, in retail, every week, if not every month, you want to be sending out a newsletter or some type of thank you letter to your customer for being a good customer. But by the way, we have a sale coming on this week. Here's a new product that we're talking about, and if you order right now, you can save 50%. At the same time you order right now, we're going to throw in 3 sets of knives. Okay? So that's all I did here in direct mail, is some ongoing customers that you already sold to, not to the ones that are new necessarily. So direct mail is something that every business should be aware of. But mail order as a business is one of these businesses that you can in fact start in your spare time, and you can actually make more money working part-time than some of the careers that you might be involved with. What I want to do is take you through a quick marketing strategy of how powerful mail order can be. Now, this one here could be viewed as a franchise. It could be viewed as just a product opportunity, and depending how you participate, what we call mail order wholesale. Okay, so here, what we need to do is start off with a small classified and something like the Toronto Star. This is the black part of the classified section here. You might have seen ads something like this here. So what we're going to do is we're going to set these guys up in their own business here. So the ads can start off: be your own boss, part-time, full-time, no experience, dealers wanted for new unique product. Ground floor opportunity, exclusive territories now available. How much have you on call? Car all right. So it's just an inquiry, basic classified ad. We want to find out who's interested in being their own boss here. So here, what we're looking at here is some cost. Something like the Toronto Star might have a circulation of about 500,000. Toronto Star has about 300,000. But on Saturday, Toronto Star has over 1 million circulation here. So this is just a typical daily ad. If our response rate is basically I guess 0.10%, that's the response rate. So out of 500,000 people, 100 people are interested in at least getting our brochure. But out of that 100, if we convert even 10 of these guys to want to be their own boss, that's the ultimate goal here. We want 10 guys who really want to be their own boss. So from there, okay, so based on our research, if we're importing these products, it might be, say, a carpet cleaning. We know everybody wants to be their own boss, so we're going to sell them to be their own carpet cleaning business here. We're going to import some of these products. Say the carpet cleaning equipment costs us $100. So that's our cost in total, including operating manuals itself, brochures to put it together. So what we're going to say, the terms are basically 50-50. To be your own boss, it's going to cost you $300. So all you have to do is send me $150 right now, and upon delivery of the equipment, you're going to send me the balance here. So what we're going to use here is what we call customer financing. Based on our research, the importer or the manufacturer in China can get this to us in 1 week here. Okay? So we're going to use the customer's money to finance to buy this equipment. Once we get it, we're going to send it back to the customer here. So our cost right here, basically, we got 10 guys here at $150. They're going to give us $1,500 that we can use to buy this equipment here. On the other hand here, our cost our ad places ad in Toronto Star, because we have to run it for a week to get 100 of these guys, it's going to cost us $300. Our product cost, because it's $100 each times 10, is $1,000. So you pocket $200 up front starting out already. So at the bottom line, there's $1,500, but what happens upon delivery, when you deliver it, again, if it was 50-50, they have to give you another $150. So times that by 10, you make basically $1,500 or $200 profit going in. So total, you make $1,700 based on this one ad. But I want to show you how powerful. Once you have an ad that works, it's just doing the same thing over and over. Now this might take you a week, it might take you a month, it might take you 6 months to figure this out. But once you figure out the science and mail order, you can do the same thing and duplicate in many other papers here. I want to show this, and I don't want you to be taken away from this. But the first thing here, if all we do is run it in one paper here, you know you can make $1,700. If you do it one time, you make $1,700 with no risk at all. But if you find out it's working in one paper, let's try it with two papers. So instead of Toronto Star, we're going to try it out in the Ottawa Citizen or the Ottawa Sun or just the Toronto Sun. If we work with two papers, what we may want to consider here is trying out get a little more aggressive. Now, again, it might take 6 months, it might take a year to get it up to 10 papers, but if it's working in one paper, it should work in 10 papers. In the U.S., there's cities that have 5 to 8 million people, let alone Toronto, we have 2 to 3 million people. But if it works in 10 papers, if you're doing this every month, that's $17,000 a month doing the same thing. Everybody wanting to be their own boss. If you're doing 30 papers, you're looking at about $51,000 every month. Again, once you find a formula, you can be in the U.S. there's about 90 major cities here. In Canada, there's about 9 of them. But depending on how fast you want to grow and at the growth itself, but I just want to show you, if you do this every month, what happens? That's about $500,000 or $600,000. And what we've done is what we call infomercials on TV. Again, it takes about 5 products before we find one winning product. But right now, and every one of those products that when we do find that one winning one, we're selling anywhere from 100 to 200,000 of these types of products. Some of them we make $10 on, some of them we make $30 on. But when you bring in your pocket calculator, the power of of mail order, or what we call wholesale distribution, you can make a lot of money in that process. But mail order is definitely a very real way today of making money starting part-time, and there isn't a whole lot of risk if you use the customer financing. So what we're going to do here, I guess step number 7 here, if needed, arrange financing for your venture, avoid going to debt, take advantage of any free government assistance handout here. So this step number 7 might be your first step if you have an existing business and you want to expand, open up some branch offices, but sometime later on you're eventually going to need to know how to arrange additional financing to expand your business. First source of financing here is a bank. Normally we discourage you using a bank because banks are not in the business of taking risk. You have to understand that. And if they're going to loan you some money, they want some type of guarantee or some type of collateral. And even with that collateral, they still may call back that loan itself. So again, banks may be one source. Another source for financing itself is government assistance programs. There's about 600 different government programs that are available. Some of them offer free grants, other ones are more of a loan, but a low interest type of loan. 3 of the programs that we'd like to touch on at the seminar. The first one is called New Ventures. Everyone in here should qualify. If you just started a business less than 6 months ago, you can still qualify for this particular program. And how this one actually works is that whatever you put in, they're going to match. So if you need $25,000, if you come up with $12,500, they'll match at $1,200. Now, the bank themselves, the government themselves are not a bank, so what you can do is deal with your local branch manager. But now the bank is actually off the hook, because if you foreclose on the loan, the government's going to guarantee the bank that he'll be repaid here. So this one you should take advantage of, because that's at minimum you will qualify. Another one you should look at here is called the Small Business Development Corporation. What they specialize on here is on equipment. Okay? So again, one piece of investment that you're going to make is in a piece of equipment. You might as well have the government finance that for you. The last one here, for those interested in import or export, is called the PEMD program, the Program for Market Export Development. Now, they allocated $18.3 million for this particular program this year, and they normally base it on quarterly spending. So the first quarter, they allocated they spent 3.9 already of this program. But out of 934 applicants, 635 of them were actually approved, which means you actually have a better than 65% chance of qualifying for this program. It used to be very difficult, and you have to be involved with doing a certain amount of sales volume, but they made it very easy today to qualify. It used to be that you had to have an intent of opening up a branch office. Today, that's all it is, as long as you have an intent of opening an office in that part of the country. If you want to look exploring some export opportunities in a certain trade show, they'll pay for your airfare, they give you 300 days for your room and your food expenses. They'll pay for your booth rental itself. So you may want to explore this program as another one. But again, I want to emphasize there's about 600 different programs out there. Who you want to begin with is probably the accounting firms. There's about 4 or 5 major accounting firms left in Canada. If they know anything about business and about financing, they should know about these government programs there. At the Institute, we have a directory that lists a lot of these government programs as well. The third one here is equity financing, which we personally believe is the easiest way and probably the most realistic way today to raise the kind of money that you need. Whether it's $500,000 or $10 million, through equity financing, you can allow you to raise all the money that you need. So here's what we're going to do, is to possibly consider issuing shares to allow our